Going out on a date can be very stressful, especially if the person that you're going out with doesn't really know you or your taste. However, I do think it is an extremely nice gesture and very sweet if one tries to smell nice for their date, no matter how long you've been going out with each other. Don't you agree? So now let's look at some fragrances that you could wear on a date, whether you've been going out for a long time or not, and your date will absolutely love them. The first one that I picked for this list is going to be a Dolce & Gabbana, and it is Light Blue Eau Intense. Came out in 2017. It's a beautiful summer fragrance, and it's going to have a little bit of a woody citrus with some aquatic marine notes as undertones. This one to me is a little bit denser than most summer scents. It's not quite as fresh, but has really good longevity and a touch of seriousness. Because of that, it allows you to wear this one on the outside to the beach, or you could also wear this one at like an indoor gathering of some sort. Next up is going to be a 2006 fragrance. Now you're thinking to yourself, man, this can't be true. Why is he showing me a fragrance from nearly 20 years ago? So here is my thought process on this one. YSL L'Homme. Of course, you could go with the obvious choice. You could go with the hailed fragrance La Nuit de l'Homme from 2009. But you know what? Everybody knows this fragrance. Unless you know each other for a while, then by all means, you go ahead and wear La Nuit. It is awesome. In this original L'Homme, you will find nuances of the famed one, obviously, since they're very similar. But you will have the added benefit of not being presumptuous, which is, I think, is a plus. While absolutely smelling amazing with the citrus combined with a slight sense of spice and vanilla. A similar fragrance in the department of sort of presumption is going to be a great date fragrance. It's 2011 Dior Homme and the Intense. Makes many lists for good reason, has a beautiful iris note. However, if you don't, if this is the fragrance that you wear on like your first or second date, it may be a little bit too presumptuous. So here too, I would choose the original one. Also came out in 2011, it's just Dior Homme. And it's going to have plenty of goodness from the Intense that everyone adores. However, this one is going to be just a little bit toned down and not quite as presumptuous as the other one. This is going to have a little bit of bergamot at the top, some sage. It's a little bit more playful, not quite so deep and dense. And there's some soft iris in here. It's also going to be a little bit of cacao. It's a beautiful fragrance, a little bit more muted. But I would start with the original, just Dior Homme, not the Intense. But then again, if you've been dating for a while, you do you. For the next one, we're gonna cool it off just a little bit. All this talk about presumptuousness, okay? The next one is going to be a 2018 fragrance, and it's going to be one from Prada Luna Rossa, and it is the black. Sorry, got some fingerprints on there. This is a perfect scent for a stylish date. This is something that I would wear if I were going on a date, and I would, maybe we're going to dinner and art gallery or something like that. A little bit of wine, that kind of thing. It's going to be a sort of a clean, soft fragrance with a touch of powder that is sort of being kept comfortable by some patchouli and a little bit of amber. And then there's some angelica in here as well, to keep this fragrance perfectly interesting for something like an art gallery. It's a little bit cleaner, it's contemporary. I really like this one a lot. In the style of Prada. It's a beautiful scent, perfect for like an art gallery if you're going on a date. You know who has another great fragrance for a date? And it's really amazing. My wife always loves it when I wear it. It's going to be Chanel. It's the Bleu de Chanel. Now there's the Eau de Toilette, there's the Eau de Parfum, and of course there's the Parfum. For a date, personally, I like wearing the Parfum version, just because it sits a little bit closer and it's a little bit denser. It's not quite as loud as the other ones. It's a little bit more intimate. It's smoother than the EDT, that sort of thing. Now, if you don't, obviously you don't, in the summertime I like to wear the EDT, and and then when it gets a little cooler, I like the EDP, and then for dates I like the Eau de Parfum, just the Parfum. You can't spring for all three because it's just way too much money. So what I would do is I would go with the Eau de Parfum if you kind of want to have best of both worlds. If you just strictly want to wear it for dates, then the parfum is great. But if you kind of want to be in between, I would go with the eau de parfum. It's in the middle, but there is a little bit of lemon zest in the eau de parfum. Just make sure before you go on a date to spray it early enough so that lemon zest at the top kind of goes away a little bit. It'll calm it down and make it a little bit more cozy if you choose to go with the eau de parfum. For me, the parfum is the preferred one for a date. My next fragrance is going to be a fragrance that if you just want to have one fragrance, you don't want to have too many of anything, you just want to have one fragrance, it kind of covers all the bases. And this is going to be the brand new or relatively new release from 2021. It's the Givenchy Gentleman. This one has everything that the other ones have except for the marine note that the Dolce & Gabbana has. It's going to have a little bit of cardamom in this one. There's going to be some iris in there as well. There's a little bit of bergamot at the very top when you first spray it, like the Bleu de Chanel did. And it has a contemporary style in the style of Prada. Or it does have a contemporary feel like the Prada did, even though they don't smell anything alike. But you know what I'm saying. It's a little bit more of a contemporary feel to the Gentleman Givenchy fragrance line. This 2021 you can wear straight from work. You can spray it at work or before work, go to work and it smells fabulous all day long, and then you can get home or in your car, respray it and go straight out on your date, and it'll seamlessly transfer from work into a date fragrance. It's beautifully done. It's a great choice if you just want to have, very few fragrances, maybe just this one, and I think you could wear this one as a signature scent, no problem at all. It's that good and that versatile. But how about we amp it up again with a Jean Paul Gaultier? My favorite one from Jean Paul Gaultier is going to be La Mel, and it is the Le Parfum from 2020. It's an absolute fabulous scent, great for a date night. Love that scent profile. It's kind of like the older brother of the original La Mel. It's going to be a warm, spicy vanilla in the style of La Mel. Perfect scent for like a date, a dinner, and then a night out on the town. Absolutely love this one. Now, of course, you could go with, Ultra Male and just, blow it completely out of the water. However, I'm not going to wear a fragrance called Ultra Male to a date. Just kidding, I would. Either one of these will do just fine. If you're a little bit more on the mature side, then, wear the Le Parfum. If not, the Ultra Male. Perfect scent to go out on a date. If you're going to spend, if you're going to do dinner or date dinner and then go out afterwards, then these scents are really amazing. Love wearing them when I'm going to come home late. Another one that fits sort of in that category that I would also wear if I'm going to go out and have a dinner date and then stay out later for drinks or something like that, maybe go to a club or something like that, is going to be the Spice Bombs by Viktor and Rolf. Now, if you're going to take it a little bit easier, then go with the first one. But if you're a little bit more overspraying just a bit, then the Spice Bomb Extreme is where you want to go. You're going to have some spicy tobacco in both of these, some vanilla. As a side note, I've been reading that the performances on these, the new ones, if you buy the newer batches, isn't that good. So I feel obliged to tell you, just go ahead and get a sample or something and see if you still want to purchase it for the price that they are now if they don't perform. Mine are luckily a little bit older, so they work just fine. But I've been reading that they just don't perform like they used to. And I would hate for you to go out and get something on my recommendation that doesn't last anymore. So please, if you get an older one, it'll be fine. But the newer ones, just get a little strip and try it and see if it works for you. My next one is going to be something that is a bit harder to find, unfortunately, but it's a really fabulous, wonderful date scent. I love wearing this one on a date. And it's going to be a CH Men from Carolina Herrera. It's this one right here. It's really a beautiful scent from 2015. Absolutely love this fragrance. It sports the notes of whiskey, cardamom, and a little bit of leather. It's a great combination to go out on a date with. This is very muted. It's very beautiful. It's very cozy without being too much or too sticky or anything like that. It's a soft, sort of beautiful symphony of leather and whiskey and a little bit of cardamom. It's really well done. It has a slight bit of elegance to it. Unfortunately, it's a little bit harder to find. So what I have for you though is a kind of go around that whole thing. Now, I can't get you this one if you can't find it, but I just recently did a video and I did buy all of the Roberto Cavalli's, the Uomos, and I stumbled upon the La Notte from Roberto Cavalli. This one, I sprayed this one on in the morning, and as I'm at work all day long, I'm thinking to myself, did I, in my slumber this morning when I got up and sprayed a fragrance, did I grab the wrong fragrance? Because I really feel like I'm wearing CH Men by Carolina Herrera. And no, I came home and when the fragrance that I wear, I set to the side so I know which one I was wearing that day, so I can, make note of how they smell, how long they last, and that sort of stuff, right? But no, I wore the Roberto Cavalli Uomo La Notte, and it totally reminded me of the CH Men from Carolina Herrera. So this one smells very, very close. If you want to get a hold of this, you can't get a hold of it anymore, harder to find. This one you can get online quite often for a decent price, and it's the La Notte. Great date fragrances, both of these. They're very similar. Not clones of one another, but very similar. Next, we'll do a fragrance by Edmund Rudnitska, is the original guy that did a fragrance in 1949. It was this one right here. Now, I don't want you to go out and get a fragrance from 1949 because it's probably not something that, the women of today would like if you go out and date them, even though, I can see where in 1949 this did really well. What I want you to do is, or what I want you to try is a newer one from 2018. It comes in the same bottle. It's just a little bit different. You see that? It's bigger. It's 125 ml or something like that, I think. And it's going to be a really, really good price online. And it is Mustache from 2018. It's a different perfumer. Natalie Gracciacetto, I think, is behind this one instead of, Rudnitska. And this one is in a lot of lists because it's a really wonderful fragrance. You can get this one for a really good price, and it's absolutely worth it. It goes on, when you first spray this one, it's sort of a little bit of fresher scent, but then it kind of like dives down pretty quick in some spicy vanilla with a touch of Bulgarian rose. It's warm, it's spicy, it's comfortable. It's a non-offensive masculine scent. It's a perfect scent for a date if you don't want to go in any kind of crazy direction, but you want to smell still on a masculine side of fragrances. Now, I would say though that this one, I'm going to go with 20 plus. It's not going to be an overly sweet fragrance. It's going to be more of a warm, sort of rosy, vanilla, spicy fragrance. Okay, the rose is very muted, Bulgarian rose, but it's really beautiful. It's definitely more of a mature scent. So 20 plus on this one. Beautiful scent though for a great price and a big bottle for a little bit of money. This is also one of the fragrances that I reviewed when I first started this channel 2.5 years ago or something like that. I still wear it. I still love it. Let me know what you wear on your dates when you go out with your loved one. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Take care as always. Smell nice, and I will talk to you soon.